What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jamavi
and your boy Machiavelli,
back in with another video. But unfortunately, this is one of the videos that, especially of this topic, that I never would have wanted to make, anticipated or expected to. Obviously this video is about our fellow king and his untimely passing, Ermias, Nipsey Hussle, Asghedom.
Neighborhood Nip.
As two young black men from South Central LA, I personally myself grew up essentially within walking distance, 2 miles if not less, from the Marathon store, from Rolling 60s, from Crenshaw, from the Crenshaw district. For those who are familiar with LA, I'm off Western. Obviously I'm not gonna put my address out there, but basically it's Western, then Van Ness, then Crenshaw in terms of the main streets. So obviously you can tell that I'm from the trenches.
The trenches,
as well as my brother right here, grew up where?
Inglewood. Born in Long Beach, grew up in Inglewood, and then moved to Watts, and then, you know, now we here. All I know is trenches. All I know is trenches.
From the trenches. But for me personally, not to, like I said, anyone that knew of Nipsey Hussle, his story, the kind of individual that he was, not just as a person, but the kind of man, the things that he tried to invoke and impart on our people, specifically within the black community, what he stood for. And I'll always refer to people by ethnicity. I will never say race, because truth be told, there is only one race, and that is the human race.
Right.
We are all equal regardless of creed, religion, ethnicity, cultural background, whatever, anything some people would want to call divisive. At the end of the day, we are all capable of the same things. It is just a matter of how you utilize the blessings of life and the resources available to you. Now granted, just like Nipsey and just like us, some of the resources available to other people were not necessarily available to us. And that is why, for me personally, as well as my brother, Nipsey was an individual that we both idolized in almost every facet of his life. Obviously the whole gangbanging part was something that we both of us chose not to partake in,
stay away from.
But at the same time, growing up in the area, it was always something that was ever present. It was always something that was there. Gang culture is something that you can obviously stay away from it and not necessarily initiate yourself within the gang, but it is always there. For me personally, growing up so close, you know, like between A-Tray and Rolling 60s, anyone that is from South Central LA knows that basically for the past 40 years, more or less, A-Tray and Rolling 60s have been... They were. They started. Well, actually, that's what I said, have been. Yeah. And all thanks to our fellow king for being able to bridge that gap, because it was from you know, many people's point of views, an irreparable gap to bring together two hoods like that. I'll say that for another video. I'm pretty sure we both know the story of how exactly that transpired and went down. But that's a kind of a longer term, because obviously this is more of a dedication to how Nipsey influenced both two young black men growing up in pretty much exactly the same areas, experienced just about almost everything he spoke about in his music. Because like I said, growing up within South LA, even if you're not in a gang, you've experienced certain aspects of gang culture in one way or another, whether it's you just walking down the street and some ignorant fool wants to roll up on you and be like, where are you from? It's something that both of us has experienced in one shape or another. A lot. Just by the way you look at it. And it's so sad and infuriating to know that, you know, just like Nipsey said, conditioned to kill my black brothers never felt right with me. I mean, that's just sort of the mentality, and that goes and transpires down here. And obviously, I don't know if you guys can tell, we're not necessarily just be peaceful. We came to the beach and, you know, just have our thoughts clear and, you know, pay our respects. But the thing is that Nipsey, for both of us, was really someone that we idolized, in that he grew up exactly from where we're from, basically had the same resources or lack thereof as we have, but took that and multiplied it, proliferated it, and achieved and accomplished goals, that of which for people like us, it almost seems impossible, if not surreal. And that is why Nipsey to us meant so much and will forever mean so much, because what he stood for as an individual, at least in the latter part of his life, and for a great portion of his life too, never pay attention to the headlines of some news media sources that will proclaim him as just a gang member.
Or just a rapper.
Or just a rapper. He was never just those things, never put him inside a box and proclaim him to be as just this, that, and or that. He was a conglomerate of things. He was multiple things. He was
a mogul, a businessman, an entrepreneur, a father, a goddamn
a brother, a husband,
man, a son. The crazy thing is, even like I said, like my brother was saying, bro, you can look up in the news, Google. I mean, besides what we all know is the BET slap. I mean, besides that, and I can really, you know, I can really can't really count on one hand how many, you know, bad things I've ever heard about Nipsey.
From anyone within his camp or outside of his camp.
Man, from Crips, Bloods, you know, just thugs, hustling.
I mean, apart from Nib, like, I can't recall any single artist, personally, off the top of my head as of right now, that has bridged the gap between specifically Bloods and Crips.
Negative.
Like, that's something that is extremely difficult to do. You know what it is to be able to drive to be from rolling 60s and then roll up into Nickerson Gardens, or, you know, like Pyru or A-Tray, anywhere. That's why it hurts so much to know how he went out in his own hood, in his own property,
his own hood, his own property that he built not by himself, but he built, him and his brother Black Sam, that they built, taken out by his own
Fats too.
Fats, their own crew, his own crew member, or, you know, his own
affiliate, whatever we want to call it.
Another black man, you know, it's
at the end of the day, another black man.
At the end of the day, it's sad, bro, to see stuff like that, you know, especially a person like Nip, bro, who always spoke about nothing but influential stuff.
Positive stuff.
Yeah.
And like, we're not gonna sit here and say, you know, he's been a complete saint, or that all of his songs were about love, peace, and unity. No, it's not all about that. It's just more so understanding that this was the lifestyle he was indoctrinated with, but he took that lifestyle, owned it, recognized it, was proud of it, and made it so that it was a positive influence. Nip
was that type of man, bro. Like, when you hear about gangbangers, I'm not even gonna lie, when you hear about gangbangers, the first thing you probably gonna think of is robbing, shooting, stealing, wild, black people acting wild, you know, this and that. But if you really look at Nip, and he basically
personified what it was when their gangs originally started, as a safe haven for black communities way back when. That was what he basically turned the tide of being in a gang. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, we're not gonna misconstrue, like, hey, you know, go into the hoods and start. No. It's not there yet. But he was one of the few exemplars that really interesting. You know, you usually hear that in the hood. I wouldn't say.
Boy, you know, the niggas hitting. I mean, they hitting though.
But I was just so bamboozled by that, taken aback. But again, like I said, Nipsey took all the negative and brought so much positive out of what was given to him. Just think about an environment where it is completely deprived of any semblance of success. Success to people that grow up in this area, the area that we're both from, is indoctrinated to look up to people that sell drugs, gangbang, pimp, anything negative, and the only way to make it out is to look at people that are in the NBA or the NFL, but nothing involving starting your own business,
owning your own business.
No middleman. The whole, from the bottom up, the whole process from the bottom up, from the person that helps clean up the place to the CEO position, whatever you want to call it, owner, president. That was what he personified. Take out the middleman, do everything, take it on yourself, put on the reins, put in the work, stand 10 toes tall.
And the crazy thing is, bro, like,
chest out.
This is, you know, me and my brother, this is not on some, you know, we listened to the victory lap and we're like, oh no, Nip was like a great man. Like we've been
rocking since Bullet had no name.
1 and 2, 3, Slauson Boys 1 and 2, the marathon.
I first heard Slauson Boys back in Slauson Boy 1, which came out in 05, if I remember correctly. That was his first project. I first heard that in about 06. Now obviously in 06 I was just barely about 11.
Wow.
Just 11, like, you know, things like that didn't really resonate with us. And I first heard it from one of my older cousins, and I didn't really like I said, you know, as a young kid, I wasn't even in middle school yet. Barely in middle school, if that, at that age. And so I really started listening to Nip specifically back in like 08 when he brought out the first TMC,
the marathon,
if I remember correctly. And then obviously that was Bullet Ain't Have No Name 1 and 2, and then 3 came out a couple years later. He has so many gems, so many different mixtapes, so many different projects. And like I said, I would never try to objectify or quantify someone's love for Nip and what he stood for in terms of when they first found out about him. I feel like as a fan, as someone who appreciates his legacy, that is the absolute wrong thing to do. I feel like it's for me to sit here and say, oh well, you know, you just heard him.
You just got on
Nip. You just got on
Blue Laces too, and you know, all of a sudden you a Nip fan.
No, it's just like
real is real, bro. You real recognize real.
And at the end of the day, you have to remember too, like, we're from where he's from, literally down the street. I'm from walking distance. He takes one bus, 1 5-minute drive, whatever. He's right there too. So that's obviously why we were blessed and privileged enough to have been exposed to him from when he didn't have anything.
Nothing, boy.
And
nothing.
You saw him mature into the individual that everyone knows him to be now, from when he was our age right now.
I'm about to say, I'm not gonna lie, because Victory Lap Nip and Bullets Ain't Got No Name on the Nip. Them two different people.
There's two different people. Like, let's not act like, you know, he really wasn't putting on for Rolling 60s, because he was.
But if you listen to his music, and not even like to say, you don't have
and his progression.
Yeah, you would literally, it's, again, I say this because it's as cliche as it might sound, but it's true. He was our generational Pac. Bro, because
I will always ride with that. He is our generation Tupac.
If you listen to Pac, bro, same thing when Pac first came out. It was, man, fuck these hoes, blase, whoop, you know, I'm in a Chevy, blasting, blah blah blah. And as he started, you know,
maturing and realizing his effect and his podium and what he can accomplish and contribute to our people. And it even sucks because I don't even want to say our people, but you have to understand too that as the black community has been deprived of so many positive things in mainstream or just in general, that I feel compelled and have to say it, because we really have to ride for our own and take care of our own, because there's so many people that come from this area that we're from, and instead of looking at what someone has and appreciating it and the work and effort that they put in for something, some people here just have the mentality that if they have something nicer than me, it's automatically fuck you. Or if you have it and we have been exposed to the same things, why you have it and I don't? That's that crabs in the bucket type mentality, where if you can have it and I can't, then neither of us can.
That's crazy.
And that is something that is so hard to get rid of in the hood, because it's unfortunate, but there's so many, not everyone obviously, but there's so many people that have that same negative mentality, where instead of I'm gonna go out and get it myself, I'm gonna shoot, steal, rob, whatever to get it. And instead of taking their approach like Nipsey did, start a business, look into the moves that how people with money do it, hustle, do this, do that, save some money, all money in, no money out. That's the legitimate model.
More deposit, less withdrawals.
But instead, you know, I'm gonna go get the latest iPhone. I'm not gonna lie, I have the latest iPhone too, but but it's, you know, there are people that I can afford the latest iPhone. Fortunately, I'm blessed to be able to do that. But there are people out here that don't even have 25 cents in their checking account, but I'm gonna go buy this or buy a Gucci belt.
I'm about to go get this last dime bag.
Be in the club every weekend in the same outfit.
But don't get us wrong though. We're not saying don't have fun. Live life and have fun. Yeah, priorities, bro. If your priorities are messed up, bro, I'm not gonna say you're not gonna go nowhere in life, but damn near, you're gonna be stagnant. You're gonna be stagnant. You know, again, taking more withdrawals out and making more deposits. in the long run, 10 years from now, you're gonna be like, damn, bro.
I'm in debt.
Was it worth it? You ain't got nothing to show for it. Really? Like, that's one thing that Nip was on, bro. Everything that Nip talked about, he could back it up. He had everything to show for it.
And even if he didn't at that point in time, he made sure that over time he could. And that's the main difference. People think that you can just become an overnight celebrity, and that does not work.
Because it's a marathon,
just think about this. Just think about this. Nipsey first released his first tape, Slauson Boy, in 2005. Dog, no, correct me if I'm wrong. That's going on 15 years ago. we're almost halfway to 2020.
That's crazy.
Look how long it took. I'm telling you, like, he came from the bottom.
Boy,
no one wanted to go to Crenshaw.
Oh, no. On top of that, didn't nobody want to sign Nip because they were so scared of by signing him, you know, that he would
like he'd be like the next Suge Knight or something.
Not that, and he'll be like in all the negative ways. Yeah, he'll be a burden to the label. So again, what Nip say? All right, well then, if you're not rocking me, I'll rock with me. All right. It really
selling CDs out the trunk. He went to high school with my sister. My sister's 3 years older than him. That's a small word, and that's why my sister was so deeply saddened by this. He went to Alexander Hamilton High School in West LA, down the street from my elementary school, literally down the street.
Oh, he went to JJ's middle school. My little sister, shout out to my little sister. He went to Gompers.
So, but that was obviously before he dropped out. But he used to sell his CDs right at the gas. But you know that freeway right next to Hamilton, right off you come off the exit from 10 freeway going west.
Right.
Right there. He used to be in the trenches selling, and he used to always say, "This is for the community. This is for the community." That was basically his main pitch was, "This is for the community." And he used to sell his CDs and stuff right there because obviously that was the area where people would be more inclined to be able to spend money. They had the means to spend money. And then obviously that's when he also did both. You know, he was a hustler. He saved his money.
Nip hustle, bro.
He stacked up and accomplished what he did.
And it's crazy because like you get somebody like Nip, right? And I guess, you know, from off image, you know, hood gangbang or whatever, how some certain people view him. Not gonna say no names, but we know, you know, and see what he himself was trying to do for the community. Now
that's what hurts the most.
And it's funny because me and my brother, we talk about this and I know jokingly laugh about it, but real shit. If you leave LAX and you make a right, bro, you go down the street. I don't know. I forgot. If
you come down Century, you come straight into the hood.
But if you make that right,
like you go down like Lincoln or like PCH, man, and going up the coastline, you're not exposed to anything like that.
And the crazy thing is, bro,
it's right there. You just one street.
Inglewood
is being currently gentrified.
No, but Inglewood is literally 5 minutes away from the LAX, where everybody lands into. You can say LAX is in the hood. But once you leave LAX, once you leave LAX and you make that right, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you start going towards Santa Monica, even Westchester, all that, you'll see like, damn, bro, like this,
a whole different world. That's why when people say they're from LA, sometimes you really have to be like, okay, where exactly from LA? Because LA is a very large city, and I love LA. I don't think I could ever really settle anywhere else other than LA because just like Nip, and just like my brother. We both went to school in West LA because our parents were fortunately blessed to have the knowledge to be like, okay, we can't indoctrinate and subject our children to being stuck in these areas because it really is kind of like a never-ending cycle. Bless Angelique Smith, Nipsey's mother. You know, she knew the kind of stand-up individual that he was and force him to go out to school on the west side, and that's what to me makes you such a well-rounded individual. That you see life from both ends. You see life from the struggling aspect, and you go out to school and then you see people that are, for the most part, not struggling. If a lot of which are very well off.
I don't even want to interrupt you though, but you hear about all these college scandals too. I'm sorry.
You see what money can get you in this world, and then you have individuals like us where for the longest time, you can see I have red seats in my car. For the longest time, the area that I am from and still currently live, I cannot to this day walk out in red.
Oh, you wildin'.
I cannot to this day walk down just walk to the corner store without the fear of being pressed, without the fear of being shot, without the fear of just being anything other than safe. We don't have that luxury to go to the store on a whim. I almost never even pump gas in my own neighborhood.
That's dead. Bro, you know what?
You know how many times I drive out just to pump gas in my car, just to be able to feel, just like Nipsey said, pumping gas at your car shot. Walk to school, get your jaw socked.
Bro, what you mean?
Like, that's real life.
And it's crazy to be your own people. It'd be your own people.
Like, that is not an exaggeration. You're looking at two individuals from the same area. More oftentimes than not, I do not pump gas in my own neighborhood. I do not walk. I have never walked to the Rouse down the street from me. Never. I have only ever really walked to the corner store with my brother.
Yeah.
Just.
To be honest, that's for me to get raps. And he could tell you. He could tell you. My mom could tell you. Damn near anybody that know me could tell you. I'm not. It's not that I don't go outside. It's just. It should never be in the back of my head. Like, all right, bro, this is gonna be my last time walking outside. Like, this is gonna be the last time I talk to my mom, my brother.
Someone gonna be on some goofy shit.
Yeah, and the sad thing, like I said, I everybody that knows me, like I said, I love black excellence. I love it. I love to see, you know, the positive. But it's hard. It's so hard to even, you know, dream that we can even come together like that.
Because it only takes just a few.
That's it.
It's so much harder to destroy than it is to create. Because just think about something. Just takes a deck of cards. How long does it take you to build a house out of a deck of cards?
Boy, I ain't want to talk
and
about
how easy is it to the fabric of excellence in that regard is so fragile and minuscule that it hurts, because it takes so much. And then you have to also look from the bottom up. Some people have the mentality of what I was alluding to earlier, that negative mentality of just, this is all I know, so this is all I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna take it. Hey.
And there are people that come from my area that are exposed to only what is within that area. Didn't have the luxury to be put into schools in more affluent areas. I would like to think that I would still remain more or less the similar individual that is before this camera today, but I can honestly sit here and say that I probably would not be if I had been forced to go to school within my own areas.
I know.
You know how sad that is to say?
And we're not even trying to, like I said, this is not us bashing Inglewood, Crenshaw. No, this is not, that's not one of the videos.
That's just reality.
This is just, we just speaking facts. And it's not, again, like I said, it's not that we're fearful. It's just that we're, you have to know what area you're in. You have to know what hood you're in. You have to know what gang signs to look out for. You have to look at any car approaching you slowly. Hats. Bro, you can't even wear certain hats. And
you can't wear Chucks, you can't wear Dickies.
And the even crazy thing, bro, everybody know I love wearing hats. I love wearing hats from different cities, and my favorite color is red.
Let you go to Crenshaw District with a T for A-Tray and see if you before.
Bro, are you, boy, what? Hey, where you from, Slim? Oh.
What's bracking?
Oh, where you going, cuz? Hey, where you from? Damn.
There it is.
There it is.
But like I said, that's why for me, I would have never, and that's why I've never personally looked at Nipsey as just an artist, but that's why for me personally, it hurt so much and struck a different chord within me and reverberated throughout my entire soul, was to know that someone that I idolize in so many ways, where both of our visions is to be able to accomplish the same things, to be able to buy back our neighborhoods, to be able to instill different mentalities and thought process, and to be able to enrich everything around us. And to know that someone has accomplished all of the things that we're setting forth for ourselves,
and it still gets taken
out by the same people within the same area, within his own hood, in front of his own kids, in front of his own property, in front of his own store that he forever put on the map, Crenshaw and Slauson.
Ain't nobody was worried about Crenshaw. Ain't nobody was worried about Slauson until the marathon came through. That's the, and this is, like my brother said, this is just reality. this is what we have to go through on a daily basis.
Every day. There is not a day where we can both rest our eyes and wake up and think, okay, it's safe today. Nah.
I could wake up and say it's beautiful today.
Yeah.
I could wake up, like I said, I wake up grateful. I think, you know,
blessed.
Thankful
every day.
Yeah. But again, you hear stuff like that. You hear
all the time.
3-4 helicopters outside. You hear about the raids and the shootouts and the drive-bys and the oh, this hood took out this many people, so they retaliated and took out that many people. Like I said, it's not fearful. It just gets tiring. It gets tiring. Like I said, and I told my brother again. And after you know, Nipsey Hussle demise, it's sad because, you know, I do want a child. I want a child or two. But like I told my brother, it's hard to even, you know, think about raising a child in LA, and you invest all your time, all your passion, all your love into this, into your little you, yeah, and now your little you and your city, and then you just, it's all taken away.
You're taken out
by somebody envious, hating, you know. Even if the story is true, you know, Nip called him a snitch, and like I was telling my mom, you know, at the end of the day, if he did call him a snitch, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, you know, Nip was wrong, or you know, he shouldn't. No, at the end of the day, hey, if you snitching,
at least box it out.
Yeah, if you snitching, you a snitch. Hey, if my brother's out here, you know, messing up, hey, and people letting them know you messing up, hey, bro, you messing up. And we don't rock like that.
It just boggles my mind how some people can take constructive criticism so wrongly, yeah. And not even in regards to the whole snitching or whatever. It's just so of that can happen to anyone. Someone can misconstrue your intentions behind the words of what you tell them and take it so far from where you originally wanted those words to reverberate throughout their body, and look at you and be angry for their actions, for their own actions. And on top of that, not even just be angry at you for their own actions, but to take it so as far as to take your life, because it could just happen like that.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story real quick. I'll tell my brother's story. I go to school in damn near the heart of South Central LA, LA Southwest College.
Imperial
and Western. For those of you all know where that's at, y'all know. I'm literally where I go to school at. It's in between 6 Souls, 8 Trays, Hoover, Bounty Hunters. I forgot what other gang it is, but I remember when I was walking to school one time.
Grape Street.
Yeah, Grape Street. I was walking to school one time, and
oh yeah, like 7 in the morning.
Early, boy, early.
7 a.m.
7:38 in the morning,
You barely rubbing the crust out your eye.
I'm talking about, bro. I ain't.
For most people.
I'm not looking no top shop, you know, none of that, bro. I got my sweats on, slides, you know, my white tee, my hoodie on.
Trying to get on the bus.
That's it. No, just trying to get to school up the street, literally up the street. I could walk to school, catch the bus to school, drive to school. It's whatever I feel like doing that day. So I'm walking to Imperial, right, and then the young cat hit the corner on the bike. Real, you know, I'm not gonna say he was old, but yeah, young cat. You know, I'm not gonna give too much identity. I ain't trying to be no snitching. You already know what it is. But you know, he looked at me when he's riding his bike. He looked at me, and I looked at him. I already kind of knew, like, damn, like, all right, here, you know what it is. Circled back on his bike, came back around. Hey, yo, where you from? Yo, for real, bro, I don't bang, bro. I'm trying to get to school. I make this money, get my education on. God, hit me with the head nod. Like, all right, bro. Looked me up and down, kept pushing. Now, I don't know what told me or what possessed me that day to open my mouth and ask this young man and tell him, hey, you know, why do you bang? But when I tell you, when I said, hey, can I ask you a question? He turned around and looked at me. I'm like, damn, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but hey, I'm.
You don't know if this fool has a burner on him.
You feel me? I'm gonna trust whatever energy or what the universe is guiding me to do right now. So, he looked me up and down again, all kind of crazy like, and he puts his bike down. He's like, yo, what's up? So I like, no, ain't no hostility, bro. Like, I just want to know an honest question. Like, you know, what do you get out of banging? And he kind of looked at me, you know, kind of stepped back, took in the question I asked him. He said, you know, really, this is all I know. My parents bang, my brothers and my siblings bang. So you know, this is what I grew up in. And as we started talking, like I said, I wear my chains. I'm not gonna say I wear them proudly, but I do wear my chains. And he's, you know, admiring my chains, my watch, and and my glasses and everything. He was like, you know, what you do? I was like, honestly, bro, I'm just going to school, trying to make money. You know, I'm trying to leave a legacy for my children. You know, trying to do better for the community. And when I said that, he literally looked at me like what? Like he couldn't believe what was coming out my mouth. And he asked me, like, you know, how old are you? I was like, bro, honestly, I just turned 26, bro. You know, I'm still young. He's like, all right, cool. I think he was like 23, 24. But long story short, he was really into rapping. And I was telling him, like, you know, what do you like doing? He's like, no, I like rapping. You know, I got little tracks out here and there, and I be in the booth. But that
mentality is so consistent across so many people from the hood. And then you look at it. Some people looking at this might say, well, how is it possible that that's all they know? But you don't realize how large LA is, and you don't realize how deprived some of these communities really are. We know of more than a few people that grew up in Watts and has stayed in Watts their entire life.
That's never seen outside of Watts. Never been damn near to Anaheim.
And you can only know better or more if you've been exposed to more, and you're talking about people that just have not had that opportunity, some of the same opportunities we've had. And that's opportunity is such a crucial and imperative aspect of living, is because it's all about opportunity. And there are a lot of people out here that don't have the same or even similar, even remotely similar opportunities, and that's how your mind stays stagnant and you just cling on to what you know. And there's, just as aforementioned, there's a lot of people where all they know is what hood you're from.
The other day, like me and bro, we end up exchanging numbers. You know, at the parting words that we said was, you know, all right, bro, you take care, stay safe out here. And he telling me that. I'm looking at bro like, I'm gonna be straight, but I'm my own business. But you don't want to run up on people on bikes. I'm where you from, bro. I'm wishing the same for you. And like I said,
it's like you never know what someone can have on them. Vice versa.
That's why I tell people, bro.
Like, you know, from the hood.
Watch how you talk to people, bro.
It's not necessarily what you say; it's how you say it.
Yeah, it's not even you being quote unquote air quote. It's not even you being a bitch. Not even being less of a man. Like I said, people want to be talked to with the same respect that you give.
Coming from the hood, and you just ask the question, "Where you from?" I would say a good, very large percentage of the chance of you dying, or at the very least getting your ass beat, is very, very, I'm not gonna throw a percentage out there because, you know, I'm not trying to, but it's very, very high. And in that exchange, who was to say that he couldn't have said that to the wrong person that day? That could have been like, I'm from such and such, and got popped.
Got smoked right at 8 in the morning in front of the bus stop trying to go to school. That's
and
crazy.
you could lose your life so easily.
I preach that to my little brothers, my little sisters, moms. You know, I tell myself that sometimes, because even like I tell, it's people want to be treated with respect, and that's like that saying goes, bro. Treat people, talk to the trash man the same way you would talk to the CEO. For real.
And that's the same sentiment I carry on throughout everyone that I try to speak to. My best. I'm saying I'm not perfect, but that's what I try to work on every day, because at the end of the day, everyone plays their role to make the life goes on and enjoy the creature comforts that we have. Because just like it is beach right now, someone has to clean it. So who are you to say, look at him, look at that person, why are they doing that, and look down on them? Sure. You come to this beach, you enjoy it, so appreciate the people that keep it clean.
Exactly. That's it. Respect goes a long way. Respect goes a long way, man. And a lot of people, it's funny because even when you get certain opportunities, the one thing people think about is, you know, is this person, you know, cool, you know, respectable? Can I trust this person? Quote unquote, you know, can I fuck with this person? But they think about it like, man, there's talk to me crazy, bro, be rolling their eyes at me every time I speak to them, or if I say something they don't say nothing back, bro. No, honestly, it don't work like that. You gonna get that same energy you put out, it's gonna be reciprocated, and if it's not by that person, it's gonna be by someone, boy.
And there's always someone bigger and badder out there, or someone smaller with just the right amount of whatever they have.
The right amount of whoop ass, boy.
But I think we kind of dragged on a little too much. We might have to make this part 2 out on it, because fortunately I was blessed to. Thank you so much, Alexia, for blessing me with the ability to be able to go to Nipsey's memorial at Staples Center, and I was with the motorcade. That was a day. That was a day I would never forget, and I will always cherish. Once again, thank you so much, Alexia, for that. My female best friend.
You feel me? Shout out to Alexia.
But
I didn't go to Memorial, but I was on Century and Vermont with it.
Vermont. We started from Staples. We were in the motorcade the entire time, right behind the Rolls Royces. Shout out to everyone. I don't want to say certain names because, like, just shout out to the whole family. Just know that you are loved all around the world, not just from us, but from all around the world. And your family, you have touched so many people in just the most positive ways possible. And I wish nothing but blessings.
Man, from that goes all the way from the baby to Lauren, Black Sam, mom's dad, you know,
Cross, Khalil,
y'all love,
Carter,
you guys are loved. You guys are loved.
Imani,
all of them. You guys are loved.
Samantha.
You know, we thank you for, you know, staying
Granny,
strong.
Mommy,
all of them. All of them.
His daddy.
All of them. Thank you for staying strong, especially at a time like this, because y'all strength, I don't know. Man, I just want to know you guys are appreciated.
I'm just surprised I didn't cry either.
Wait, what?
Right now.
What?
I'm talking about right now. I definitely cried during the memorial.
I was holding back, boy.
But just like
when Black Sam got
Black Sam too, it's like fuck your chest out. Die today. You didn't just make the set proud, you made the whole world proud, nigga.
That's it.
And I think on that note, I think that's a great way to end it. You made the world proud, and you made
a difference.
You made a difference. With that said, we're out.